Thank you so much for meeting with me this morning. I just wanted to share with you that our home is implementing a new admission process with the intention of being more resident and family member centered. So, the change that we're incorporating involves a pre admission meeting, and that's going to happen the day before the resident is welcomed into one of our homes rather than on the same day. So, the purpose of this meeting will be to complete all new admissions assessments, aside from the physical assessment with the resident, which still happens on the day of, with the intention of us getting to know a little bit more about the resident before their first day and maybe be able to meet their preferences, and maybe they'll feel a little more comfortable too. So this change is going to need to be implemented in 2 weeks, and I literally just found out about it a half an hour ago. So I wanted to give you all a heads up that this will be happening. I will be providing a training session next week. However, right now, I'm really interested in hearing your reactions, your thoughts, or your questions. So I invite you to share.
Well, that's going to be a lot, to be honest. While I like the idea of spending more time with residents and families the day before move-in, I just don't know where I'm going to find the time. Like, there's just so much going on lately. To focus on admission 2 days in a row, it's a lot.
Yeah. I'm hearing from you, Annika, that having enough time in your shift is a concern for you.
Yeah, it really is. It's already so hard to get everything done.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that perspective, Annika. You're reminding me and maybe all of us that we need more hours in the day to do our work. Um, does anyone else have another perspective that they'd like to share?
Yeah, I guess I just don't really understand why we have to make another change. Things seem to be going smoothly the way that they are.
Mhm. Well, Jen, I certainly see how well your team welcomes new residents and families already. Um, Can you help me better understand why learning and implementing this new process is going to be challenging for you and your team?
Yeah. I think it just comes down to the rec team is really organized
Mhm,
and we have everything planned, and it's taken us a long time as a team to get to that point.
mhm.
And so I'm a little bit worried that this sudden change is going to cause stress on the team, and I don't think people are going to be very happy about this.
Yeah, Jen, that's exactly how I feel. Like, it's just so much at one time. Can't we just wait maybe a few months for the new change?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Can we wait?
I'm curious, Jen. Could you tell me a little bit more? I'd like to know a little bit more about your concerns um, that it's going to cause your team stress. I'd just like to understand that a bit more.
Yeah, I think it's just I'm worried that the team's going to feel frustrated. We've had a lot of
Mhm,
turnover, which I'm sure you know, in the last year, and so we're finally in a good rhythm. And I find
mhm.
that at least since I've been here, and in my experience, we've often asked our teams to learn new things, and sometimes it just feels overwhelming, exactly what Annika's saying, and I'm worried it's going to burn people out.
Yeah, I've noticed it too. We have to learn new things so often that and we don't get
Mhm.
enough support for it.
Yeah.
Sarah, do you have anything you'd like to offer at all?
Yeah, I guess I just want to reassure Annika and Jen that you don't have to worry. Like I said, the last home I worked at this when this change was implemented, it really did work well. And I just want you to trust me that I'm here to help you once we roll this out.
Well, thanks for that perspective, Sarah.
Mhm.
It sounds like your perspective is different from Annika and Jen, and I just want to stress to everybody we need to make room for everybody's perspective. So, Jen and Annika, I'm going to come back to you both in a moment, but I'm just wondering, Sarah, can you share a little bit for us
Mhm.
about why you think or what made that change at your previous home go so well?
Yeah, sure. I just found that the resident and the family were more at ease when they came to us on the actual day of admission. And I also noticed that they appreciated, being the food service manager, that they appreciated that I understood the residents' preferences for their meals. So I was able to deliver a meal that met their preferences on the very first day. And then the more I did that, the more I noticed that I built a trust with the family and the resident because they felt heard on the pre-admission day, because I was able to, meet their needs the next day. And so it built that trust, that relationship, and it just made things more smooth and a relationship was built and they just trusted us more. So it made our job a lot easier.
Wow, Sarah, that's a really powerful example, and so thank you for sharing that. At the same time, I know there are other important perspectives on our team. So, Annika and Jen, if I could just summarize what I think the gist of your concern is without minimizing it, of course. But I think, Annika, you're really concerned about time management. And Jen, you mentioned being tired, your team being tired of change. And you even used the words or the phrase, you're worried about them getting burnt out, which is again pretty powerful. Have I kind of captured the main gist of both of your concerns?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, I just so appreciate everybody so honest with your reactions to this change because I need to understand that, and we all need to understand that if we're gonna implement it, because there can be challenges to doing that. So we're trying to figure out how we can overcome those challenges. And I feel like as a result of having this short meeting, I have a better understanding of where you're coming from, your various perspectives. And I don't have the answer. I think we have the answer together. So I wonder what you think about working together at our training meeting to draw on all of your experiences and perspectives with the intention of doing our best as a team to make this change, doable, to make it positive, meaningful for your team members, but also for the residents and resident families. We want to make sure that it's possible for you and your teams to do, because I certainly don't want to be adding extra stress to the wonderful work that your teams do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mhm. Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, June.
Okay, okay. So I know we haven't like figured everything out this morning and you've got to get back to work. So what I'd like to propose is that we'll discuss this further during the training session I scheduled with you next week. Does that sound okay to you both? All three, I should
Mhm.
say, sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay with me. Um, I don't know. I think I'd like to hear more from Sarah when we do the training session to like of just reasons that it worked out okay, that she was able to manage her time because I can't really think of it myself.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And also, maybe if we could hear a little bit about how you got team buy-in, Sarah, I think that would be helpful.
Sure, sure. I'll do my best to help. Absolutely.
That's so great to hear. And again, being so honest for showing up here in such an honest way, because it's really going to help me to create a training that's going to address your needs and for us to work together to support each other. So, in the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns or any other ideas, just reach out. You all have my email. I look forward to meeting with you next week in any case.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, June.